a little God Save the King. How's it going, Dr. D?
Good. How's it going, Arden?
It would be better if I could grab my coffee. Up, got it. All right, big stretch, big stretch. So much is going on. So before we start, I would like to make a little announcement. By the way, this is Arden, the crotchety old man, starring Arden and Dr. D. Pretty soon I'm gonna have to change this for like the eighth time. It'd be like Dr. D presents Arden, the crotchety old
It's
man.
a Dr. D production.
A Dr. D production. So I am going to be going over a lot of political stuff. I apologize ahead of time. I'm speaking only for myself. If Dr. D wants to speak, that is okay. I'm not going to push him in any directions. This is my public service announcement. I told him I wouldn't be doing this kind of stuff, but I can't help myself. There's just too much going on.
Oh, there's way too much out there, man.
So let's start out with some easy stuff. The King of England is here. And he's visiting for the next 4 days for America's 250th anniversary. And so he's meeting with the president today. They're going to have his formal state dinner, which is pretty cool. You know what would be cool? If he went to Yorktown, where the British surrendered. How cool would that be?
There's so many places that guy could go. He needs to stay here for a month.
Seriously. And the fact that he is coming for America's 250, I think it's really cool. And by the way, did you know he's still getting flack for his religious views? Did
Well,
you
who
even,
isn't getting flack for that these days?
well, the people of England, and that's why that song, God Save the King, is a little interesting because he is the head of the Church of England.
Hmm.
Well, he actually posted out on, I guess, their version of X, if it is X, I'm not sure, for Ramadan. A special thank you to everyone on Ramadan. He did not post anything for Easter.
Wow.
So King Charles got a lot of flack for that, for not saying Happy Easter and everything. And there was, now it wasn't him directly, but someone, one of his spokespeople, actually wrote that he's the keeper not of the faith, but the faiths with an S.
Mm.
I don't think that's the whole point of the Church of England created by his ancestor. Yeah. Oh, and how cool is that? It's like his ancestor.
That's crazy, man.
Like Trump could be like, so we kicked your great grandfather's ass. You know,
Well, and this country wouldn't be here if a bunch of them didn't run over here anyway.
exactly. Those damn limeys.
Or they got kicked out, one or the other, because it depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, exactly. It is fascinating learning about history. So we have King Charles visiting, which, by the way, I still think is really cool, with his wife, the Queen, and of course, everyone is talking about, is there security at the White House? Will there be security? Now, by the way, he's also going to New York City. Okay, you're going to have the King of England and Mendani. Ah.
Well,
He'll probably think he's in London.
hey, I guess New York is one of the 13 colonies, so there you go.
It was original. Wasn't it the last of the colonies to sign?
Hmm.
Because they literally had so many people uh, who were still wanting to remain colonists. Mm.
Yeah.
And one of my movie time question. Did you ever watch 1776 the musical?
Oh, I saw that at Radio City when it first dropped.
Of
We went
course.
on a trip. There was like 15 of us on this trip to go see that movie.
That was
Didn't
awesome.
see it on stage. I knew some people that saw it on stage and said it was really good, but I liked the movie. It was
With
great.
Bob Newhart. Like, by the way, but I just remember the
Wait a
guy.
minute, Bob Newhart wasn't in that movie.
Oh no, not Bob Newhart. What was the other guy's name?
Oh, the
It,
guy
it looked
William
like
Daniels played,
um. Gosh, it was so
and
good.
Howard Da Silva played
Yeah,
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin. It was awesome.
And I'm trying to think who Daniels played. Isn't that bad? I can't think of I can see his face. They show it every year. They're
Adams.
probably going to show it this year.
By the way, I recommend everyone should watch that movie. I mean, first of all, it's a musical, and
It's an obscure musical though, because when it was new, it was like musicals were like on their way out back then.
Right. But it's like I wonder, like I would really like to know how historically accurate it is to a degree. Because I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
so
they got the names right.
yeah, I mean the representative of New York who abstains courteously. The one guy yells at him, "What the hell's the matter with New York?" When Hamilton yells at him, we have nothing, nothing. No one knows what's going on, so he had to abstain every five all the time.
Had some catchy songs though.
It did. It did. But you also meet
Vote yes.
vote yes on Independence Day. I mean, that was such a great songs. Great. I love that movie. I really do. It was on my
I
DVR.
have it here at home. I got a million musicals, but that I watch that every year.
Uh, by the way, I like how we're going into movies. I'm trying not to go into politics. I'm doing my best. Doing my best.
I want to hear. I want to hear what you're spinning tonight, man.
Okay, so here's my segue. Are you ready for my segue? So we were just talking about the from the king to 1776, and since our first president was Virginia, let's talk about what's going on in Virginia today. That's a good long segue. So
It's gonna be a long sentence too.
yeah, so today the Supreme Court of the state of Virginia heard oral arguments, by the way, only for an hour. That's it, 1 hour to talk and discuss the what would you want to call the act? It's a Virginia constitutional amendment of redistricting.
Mhm.
And now this I did not know. I learned something. I educated myself that the court in Virginia actually leans Republican. I actually assumed it leaned Democrat. I did not know that.
That's news to me too. I thought it leaned Democrat.
Yeah. So they had arguments, and supposedly I don't know. I didn't hear it. That there was a lot of direct questioning, and there's four parts. And if the Democrats lose any one of those four, it would actually have to go back to Congress and have to be thought out and redone again.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty fascinating. And Florida is now showing their map, but that's whatever. But Florida is actually doing it in a totally different way. They removed in their census all people who are here illegally. So it actually somehow is able to change the map by doing it. And this way they are not going to, because they're ready to be sued. They're like, we're redoing the map and we know we're going to be sued. And this is how we did it and why we did it. And so that was fascinating. Now,
What do you think of the long range implications of all that, though?
the worst part is that it's going to be every few years.
Mhm.
Now, by the way, even redistricting every 10 years is kind of crazy. I almost think it should be done every 20 years, but then it would have to be every state constitution would have to have that,
Mhm.
which every state is different, but they shouldn't be able to keep changing it, Virginia's unique because our governor changes every single time. You can only be a one-term governor. And I'm sorry, you can be a multiple-term governor, but only one term at a time.
Right.
Which, by the way, is brilliant and sucks at the same time. It's brilliant because then you don't have people lasting forever. The governors don't last 10
Well,
years.
it breaks up a continuity. I guess I don't know.
Where it sucks is that, like, Governor Youngkin never had a Republican-controlled Congress.
No.
So he had no chance. So nothing he really wanted to get through got through. Now, if you got rid of, I believe it's the 20th Amendment.
And he's gone. He's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
No.
Yeah. I think he might run for president. He might, depending.
I don't see that coming.
Or he might be run for president, hopefully to get like Secretary of State or something like that. By the way, I did not realize he was 6'7".
Yeah, that guy's a tall drink of water, man.
I thought he was like 6'2". He is huge. Like he was like they had people on stage and he was taller than them.
Yeah, he's like the NBA governor, everything in name.
Exactly. So, but here's the thing. Now, the 20th Amendment, I believe, I could be wrong. That's the one where senators are now elected by popular vote. And now, if we got rid of the 20th Amendment, Virginia would be awesome because every new governor would have to appoint new senators. So you would have new senators every 4 years as well. And now, unless of course a Democrat or a Republican won, so the next Republican wins and the next Democrat wins, the next Democrat wins again, then those senators may stay. But that would be awesome. I hate the 20th Amendment. I don't know why they got. I mean, once again,
Why does it exist?
I honestly don't know. I mean,
Because I've been trying to figure that out.
I mean, once again, I've brought up this movie many, many times. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Excellent.
Jimmy Stewart was appointed as senator because he was a rube. Oh, we don't use that word enough. Yeah, rube.
That's an old one. That used to be out there. There's just like so many words we don't use.
Yeah,
Rube.
rube. They used to use that on George W. Bush. that he was a Texas rube. But yeah, so I mean, go back to that because I mean, think about that. Like New York, I mean, Chuck Schumer's been there forever. Like all these guys have been there forever. Senators should have one term max.
These guys stay in so long, they're not even effective anymore.
Right, and they have no clue. They've lost all like touch with reality.
They've got their seat, they got their pay, and they're just one term and that's it. You're out to lunch.
Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable, and this just popped into my head just thinking about like longevity. There was was he a Marine or was he the Special Forces guy who, when we captured Maduro, he actually bet. Did you hear about this one?
No.
Oh, okay. So you know how you can bet on anything?
Yeah.
Well, they were this one guy who was. I'm once again, I could be wrong if he was a Marine or Special Forces of a different unit or Army or something. Well, he bet that they would be able to capture Maduro.
Okay.
He won. He won $400,000. He was actually on the mission itself. So he was betting on himself, literally living and winning. So he wins. And people are up in arms. I mean, he's already facing criminal, problems, because he's a military officer and being ex-military, you can kind of understand it. Donald Trump called him Pete Rose, betting on his own team.
Pete Rose.
But he won. Now you have all of these senators and Congress people who are saying like, no, do not pardon him. Do not pardon him. These are the people who have insider trading. Like they literally make more money than any investment bank. And yet,
big time.
So this guy bet on himself, literally, but because he's in the military, then I get it. I understand. The guy should be held into some kind of problem. But I want a guy, if he bet against himself, oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's treasonous.
Oh, big time.
But he won $400,000, and now he may get thrown out of the Army for the Marines.
Well, he's got 400 grand in his pocket, so hey.
Yeah, good for him.
At least you got something to show for it.
Yeah, so I would just because of that, I would pardon him with some kind of minor slap on the wrist if I was in charge.
Well, being able to keep the money and just getting kicked out is a slap on the wrist to me.
I think it probably deserves a medal, but that's because at least he was part of it. It wasn't like a guy stationed in Albuquerque, who was betting on it. I mean, the guy was actually, if he gets shot and killed, he loses the money and his life. So a little bit different. So that was interesting. Now, there was so much news. Okay, I got to bring it up. The Trump assassination attempt part 3.
Oh my goodness, man.
We're starting to get into Jaws. Yeah, see, keep trying to bring up movies. We're starting to get to
I keep wondering when the next one is going to happen.
Yeah. Oh my God. So we are now in there's so much ridiculous thing. If you watch the news, all you hear about is security.
How do they catch these guys so quick anyway?
Who? The one guy?
Just like the past 2 times, I'm like, you still can't solve JFK, but this stuff just happens just like that.
Well, this guy, everyone is asking, how the hell is he alive? Like, he's sprinting. Like, if you see the video, there's only one video, by the way. There's not the video, like, he sprints past the Secret Service. And like he like pretty much just bumps into one guy, and like they all draw their weapons instantly, but they're not firing at him. What's going on? So supposedly there's either 4 or 5 shots total that they heard. They don't know if he ever actually fired his weapon yet. Well, they're still looking at they. I always say they, and I have been accused of.
Okay, I might have missed this part. When they caught this guy, excuse me, did he have a weapon on him?
Yes. Oh, multiple. He had a shotgun. 2 pistols.
Well, at that range, a shotgun's useless.
Yeah. Well, close range it isn't.
Well, no, close range, right.
He was
he
running
never
with
would have
the
got
shotgun.
that close with a 12 gauge.
Right. Oh my God, no, not at all.
Yeah.
But he was running. Towards the doors to go into the ballroom. Ballroom. And he literally, as he's running, supposedly he fired a couple times with the shotgun. Now, one police officer was hit in the chest and is fine. Trump actually called him twice. How cool is that? Not just one time, but actually called him twice. He's like, I'm okay, sir. Thank you. Like, Trump's freaking awesome when it comes to stuff like this.
It's like we said earlier, is like, why did this idiot write up a manifesto and leave basically a trail?
Right. But he
didn't do it.
He calls his family right before he's going to do this. They're the ones who are telling the investigators all this stuff.
Obviously, the guy didn't read his like Assassin's history book through the years. Like,
right,
get it done.
Yeah, dude. But like, he either fell or was tackled. Once again, not shot. No one shot him. Like, he's fine. And somehow they ripped his shirt off, I guess.
Plus, like these days, everybody's got a phone, which means everybody is Abraham Zapruder.
Right.
And they're always like filming stuff everywhere.
The fact that you knew Zapruder's first name is incredibly amazing.
Oh.
No, everyone just goes, it's the Zapruder film. No one goes, this is Abraham. By the way, if you were wrong and you just made that up, that's even funnier. But damn,
hey, I'm just big on that, man. That case is still open to me.
So that was pretty funny. I mean, like the Kennedys. I mean, I don't think we can know. Maybe for another like 100 years, and even then, it'll still be a mystery.
Well, Trump canceled they pushed the reveal out because it's supposed to be 2025.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
neither party said anything when he did it, so there's nobody wants to talk about that one.
Well, this kind of leads to this because in this manifesto, he's saying that Trump is a rapist. He's a convicted rapist, which he wasn't, and a pedophile. Now, that all comes from the Epstein files,
right?
Which is the same. Now, once again, Trump could be 1,000%. I know that's physically impossible. 1,000% innocent, and there could be nothing in the files about him and any underage people at all. But because it doesn't exist, he's guilty. Like no one is gonna like Epstein does not have a piece of paper written somewhere that Trump did not touch a single like so it'll always be there forever.
Nothing's ever going to be written down, but it's like that needs to come out too.
Right. I mean,
I think when it does, and I don't think it will, but if it does, it's going to implicate people on both sides.
Oh, of course. I completely believe that. But at the same time, like you have all of these people, like it's being pushed, this narrative. And then
once he's out of office, you won't hear it anymore. You will, but people will be blaming the next person in office if they're a rapist and a pedophile. You see how it goes?
Yeah, only if they're a Republican. J.D. Vance is a rapist and a pedophile. Marco Rubio, rapist and pedophile. By the way, have you seen the memes of Marco Rubio where he's always on the couch?
There's like millions of them.
It's so funny. I love it. I mean, and he's just always looking with that same dumbass look on his face, like, seriously? But so,
who knows? That might be another president, man. He might run.
I don't think I actually listened to a bunch of guys talk about this yesterday, and they were saying he can't run because
he can't run because he can't win.
Well, it was right because they said the Trump voters still look at him as little Marco. No matter how good he is, he's going to be little Marco to a lot of people.
That's crazy,
And
man.
they said that's why Ted Cruz is not going to run, and that it's just JD Vance's show, unless there's another Republican outsider, like a Youngkin or someone like that.
Well,
Yeah,
there
so
isn't, and they got 2 years to like spin up propaganda, and it's like time the clock's ticking.
yeah, I mean, you're not going to replace Trump. So the next person has to be able to stand on their own and say why they are, because if they try to emulate Trump in any way, you're done. Like it just doesn't work. Now you could still call it MAGA. You could actually make MAGA the political party. Just do it. I mean, you could, but the scary part. Are you familiar with the SPL? I'm sorry, the SPLC,
Yeah.
the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Hmm.
Did you follow any of that story while it was out? The 5 minutes it was out.
Not the latest one, but it being out for like a few minutes is suspect.
So they actually, one of the members of one of the clan was paid $1 million to literally like spout more hate. He was paid $1 million by the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're spending money because do you remember like when Biden was running, how everyone was a racist? That the white nationalists were the worst thing in the history of America at that point.
Yeah.
It was being pushed by the Southern Poverty Law Center with it, like they were giving money to people you would not be giving money to. Well, obviously you wouldn't, but I wouldn't either. but I mean, like they were giving money to the Klan. And they were putting their own operatives in. Now, uh,
Now I got to do some homework and look this stuff up
it's
because
unbelievable. They were giving so much money to operatives in those organizations, and there's a ton of them. By the way, the fact that I've never heard of 99% of them just shows how little like they are. Like no one cares. A Klan rally to me right now is just a bunch of rednecks hanging out.
well, separate, but like when you combine these people, there's a common denominator that links them all, and that's the thing. It's not just
Right, it's hate.
one by themselves.
Right, it's pure hate. But the problem is they have no financial backing and power anymore. Now that the Democrats are out of office in the South. Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry, but like it's just so bad. So this is where it gets crazy. So I cannot believe I did this, but on Sunday I watched so much liberal news. I watched all of Face the Nation. I was watching 60 Minutes. I'm watching all of them because I really wanted the other side.
I haven't watched any of the, I can't remember when. I don't watch either one of them, either side, but those shows I haven't watched in years.
Well, Jamie Raskin from Maryland, total sleazebag. Can't stand him with his. I don't know what happened to why he's got like a blood stained eye. I don't know what happened if he got an eye jammy or something. But like I mean, the guy had cancer and all this other stuff. But like he comes out and they were talking about this. By the way, he was the first one who literally was talking about how he was a victim of the security in the like he was just happened to be talking to Kennedy's granddaughter when the shots were ringing out in the ballroom. Jeez Louise. When the shots were ringing out, he just happened to be talking to Kennedy's granddaughter who was executed. And he was talking about, remember how I just said they were paying informants to be there? He was specifically asked about that. And he goes, well, the FBI has informants within these organizations. So a company like so literally a nonprofit could have informants and be paying people? No, there's a big difference between the FBI and a nonprofit paying people. But he was defending it.
Didn't they have money laundering going on too?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's disgusting. And he, by the way, he was ridiculous. He was the first one. First thing he said is we have to have gun control. Wow, gun control. Gun control.
Well, yeah.
Well,
That's the cause du jour right now.
I mean, yeah, I guess Raskin, it would have been better if he was running in with a bomb, a homemade explosive. It probably would have been a lot better if he had like 5 of those bad boys while he was running. What a dumbass. They're already, he was already breaking laws. It wasn't the gun that was breaking the law. No, it was him. And he was literally just peddling all the same talking points. It's all Trump's fault. But then he was the first one to talk about being a victim. Now, all of these reporters and all of these fake pundits are there talking about being a victim. They're literally interviewing themselves, on social media. Then I dove under the table to get away from the bullets. I felt fear for the first time in my life. I did not.
I've seen some of that. Everybody's a method actor.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you see the ladies at the end who were I don't want to say stealing, but taking the bottles off the table and putting them in their purses, and they're chugging wine?
I thought that was hysterical, man.
I mean,
then they can claim trauma.
Right, they're claiming trauma while they're stealing bottles of wine. What the hell? Yeah, and they probably were like, I paid for this. My trauma.
What amazes me is these days is that cameras are like everywhere. People still don't think that they're not being watched.
Right. Well, that was the amazing thing. If you watch the videos, you see people with the camera up, filming, and then they're looking up, or they're filming themselves. Oh my God, you people. I mean, seriously? Why are you filming yourselves? And
oh my goodness, you can't make this stuff up.
You can't. You cannot make. And I understand people are talking about the security, but that is not the most important thing. The most important thing is, why was this guy such an idiot? Why was he so pumped up? And you hear it even today. It's only a couple of days, it's 2 days later, and they're still preaching hate. And they're blaming Republicans. I mean, they are still Democrats saying, oh, the Republicans do this as much. Really? Really?
But you know what, Arden? It's all about who's in office. If there's another Democrat elected in the next presidential election, guess what?
The Democrats will still blame Republicans for hate.
Yeah, it's gonna go back and forth, man. It's old.
Except
it's like watching old reruns of TV shows.
Except, was there ever an assassination on Biden? Nope. Was there one on? Were there protests? Yes. Were they ever crazy protests? No. And I'm not talking about January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, what? Last president who got killed? Yeah, JFK, Democrat.
Yeah. And Reagan, who was shot, by the way, outside of the same hotel, by the way. It's actually called the Reagan
I'll play devil's. He didn't die, and then they caught that guy too.
Right. They caught him. And he had, but once again, he was a Democrat, but he wasn't a radical liberal Democrat because he was just a nutcase. Now they're all, I mean, you had Scalia.
I think most people that do that kind of thing are like nutcases anyway. They're not playing with a full deck.
But they seem to always lean on the left. And the right is, and the argument is, well, the right always does the same. I could not think of a single right-wing shooter in a very long time, if any, at this point in time. And none are in the NRA, by the way. Just useless information. Not a single NRA member has caused a mass shooting. Yeah, okay. But there's been lots. A little useless information. And I am an NRA member.
What about John Wilkes Booth? Let's see. Lincoln was Republican.
First Republican.
Yeah, and he was pro-slavery, Confederate sympathizer.
Well, the Confederates were the Democrats, so
yeah,
which formed the Ku Klux Klan. Let's not forget that.
That's very true.
They formed him. And by the way, remember Joe Biden, Mr. We gotta stop this, stop that. And who didn't he give the eulogy to Senator Byrd, who was the exalted Cyclops of the Ku Klux Klan?
The exalted Cyclops.
So he literally gives a eulogy at the exalted Cyclops' funeral.
I love the titles, man.
Oh, I know. I mean,
try to have a Ray Harryhausen movie, man.
I mean, by the way, a Cyclops?
Cyclops.
One-eyed. I mean, the Grand Dragon. Okay, that at least sounds a little cool. But a Cyclops?
Enter the Grand Dragon.
Does he have his own theme music? Wow, our time is flying by. So, just wanted to give so I'm going to go off because there's going to be more probably next week, and I don't want to go too crazy because, by the way, I still have like 3/4 of a page of notes with all of this stuff. But I did want to actually talk about a movie that I finally saw in its entirety. Ford versus Ferrari. A real movie.
Good one.
Now, first of all, I kind of wish it was long enough, but I wanted a little more history. Like I don't know anything about like the race itself. Like they needed someone to like dumb it down for someone like me who knows nothing about it.
I was shocked that they even made like that kind of movie.
Yeah, I mean,
And then it did go over well. I think when it came out, it was successful.
it was successful,
I
and
went to
people
see, yeah, I was completely shocked. It was good.
and people liked it. I mean, I thought it was okay. I really did.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I mean, I watched the whole thing. It wasn't boring, that's for sure.
Oh
But
no. And
I
it's
just
sequel proof.
yeah, and I didn't understand it though. A lot of it. I mean, I mean, they made Mr. Ferrari look like he was bizarre. You know, they
Mhm.
made Ford look like a kind of a dick. But I mean, it was just. But like, I mean, like, I mean, I just didn't understand it. The driver. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my favorite car movie is Tucker in His Dream.
Ah, that was a good movie. I
Yeah.
actually forgot about that one.
That just popped in my head. Okay, go back to Ford and Ferrari before
Oh
we're out of
yeah.
time.
Oh, that's okay. So it was a movie. Like if you haven't seen it, it's just the basically how they were like bashing the Mustangs. Like Ferrari built fast cars, and in the '60s, Ford didn't. You know, Ford had like nice, affordable cars that everyone can own, and they wanted to get into the racing industry. And they were in racing, but they didn't do the 24 hours of Le Mans, and Ford actually went in and actually was going to race them. And it came from two different perspectives. As a guy who actually won the race, who owned his own car distribution center, I guess he worked for Ford. Like they didn't even explain that. Was he a Ford guy or was he selling other cars? Like his car was not a Ford car.
No.
But they didn't say what his car was.
You know, they did. I got to watch that again. No, they didn't.
Yeah, so that was an interesting one. And the driver, after the race, and I'm not going to say what happens, but after the race, like he dies on a test track, and he like they said, okay, and he's in the Auto Hall of Fame. Okay, what like was he still racing? Like, did he race any other? Like, there wasn't enough stuff, if that makes any sense. There was too much like silly stuff, if that makes any sense.
Hmm.
But that was all right. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about real fast. Um, this was interesting. Movies that I may be forced to see. Do I go see the Mandalorian movie and the next Avengers movie?
I'm going to see both. I know that Mandalorian is going to let me down.
Right,
I think Marvel knows that they have to swing for the fences before they lose everybody for good. So I think that that one is going to be okay. But I think Mandalorian is going to fall. No one's asking for the movie.
right,
The TV series ended on a not so good note by putting him in the backseat of his own show.
right. They made the little baby Yoda
Right.
guru, or whatever his name is.
The second season was great when you had Luke at the end and all that.
Yep,
That's what he should have had on the big screen in the theater. That's how you should have treated Luke in the movies.
right, right. And so I'm afraid I don't want to give Disney any more of my money. I've been let down too many times.
And it's a shame because when The Mandalorian first dropped,
It was
love
so
the
good,
show.
so good.
First two seasons were decent.
Yep, and you're just still trying to figure out why Baby Yoda lived and how he lived from the purge of Anakin, you know.
Right.
And then you got to sort of know that he was hidden in a closet. I mean, not a closet. He was like in a shaft, and no one knew.
I think they dragged that whole Grogu thing out too much.
Yeah, I mean, I
You know,
understand
to
it.
sell toys. I mean, I get it, but I mean, after a while, it didn't make narrative sense. But hey,
Yeah.
we'll see. I think Avengers is going to do well. I don't think Mandalorian people will see it, but I don't think it's going to go over well.
All right. Well, we may have to sit there together and watch it,
Sure.
but with a big giant tub of popcorn in between us. But
Hey,
not
it's
this.
coming up. When does it drop? It drops next month, right?
Is it going to be on May 4th? Which would
I'm
make sense.
Yeah,
May
damn.
the fourth be with you. By the way, that would make sense, but they probably
Yeah.
won't do that because they suck. Oh, well, anyway, so hopefully we have a good visit from King Charles, and hopefully things go well. And I am delaying because, of course, once again, I forgot to cue up the music again. So I'll just have to. Oh, I even got a commercial. One of these days, ladies and gentlemen, I am actually going to have things set up. So forget the music. you know, uh, by the way, I was about to start singing "God Save the King," but I was going to do it in the Sex Pistols. God Saves the Queen by the Sex Pistols. That's a good song. Anyway, that's a fun series to watch. By the way, the Sex Pistols series.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, that was actually pretty. I did not know enough about them. That I still wonder why they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and only released one album. But that's a whole other story.
Oh, well, there's so many people that
Influential.
should be in, and it's just like, who knows?
And so that's a whole other topic. But anyway, feel free to reach out to us at Arden, the crotchety old man at gmail.com, Arden, the crotchety old man at gmail.com. And thank you everyone for following us on X. I think we're up to like 500 followers in less than 2 weeks.
That's great.
That's
Thanks, everybody.
we're exploding. Have a great one. And see, I'm just gonna sing it. God save Dr. D.